On the con side as well, it is critical who you choose as the associate, which is why we do take great pains in choosing it and involve the company very heavily in that. Because since that associate is the conduit for this knowledge transfer, he or she has to be the right person, has to be in there for the right reason. We've all, I think, done a sales pitch or talked to somebody about our product or our, in my case, scheme, think they've understood what you've talked about. When you actually get into it, they haven't really taken on board what you said, and it happens with associates as well. They have to be on board, knowing what they're into. The company needs to be committed from the top down. Again, we've had KTPs with companies where there wasn't commitment at the top, and the program does not work as well. There can be IPR issues because the associate is an employee of the university, so in normal scheme of things, any IP generated would belong to the university.
But if the company is paying £21,000,
yeah, exactly.
So...
Exactly. I say that's the normal stance. Our stance is, our current IPR agreement is, that the IP, the foreground IP belongs to the company, but the university would like to have the ability to use that IP in their teaching and research. Okay? And the company, but only with the company's approval as to prior, that it's not commercially exploited by the university. So, but our stance is, sorry?
That's a tremendous stumbling.
It can be. Our stance is that we will not allow IP issues to stop a program happening. Okay?
The company, right?
Yeah. But we won't allow the company's, our position on IP to stop it happening. That's what I'm getting at. Not that we'll say that's our stance if you don't want it, because that would be stopping it happening. We will the other way. We will do what we can to get the company's issues addressed, so that will not stop the program running. Because the benefits to all parties are too great to allow that to happen.
To be fair, I'm working in this sort of area since the early 80s, and we've never had a problem with the utilisation of intellectual property by the university. Unless in the biotech area, maybe it's different from different.
So we will not allow...
With universities worldwide, Japan, States as well.
The gentleman at the back is James Best, who's the advisor for the region, KTP advisor for the region. So.
I didn't hear the comment.
No. Sorry.
The lady brought up a very valid point. All I was saying is that in actual experience, that's never been a problem. And I think it's a very real point to bring up, but often life is different from what theoretical problems are.
And I might say that I've worked with a lot of universities, and Bournemouth has a very, very pragmatic approach to IP, which is very laudable. There are some other universities who want to hang on to the IP very tightly, but Bournemouth is very, very good about that.
And often you, in fact, get enhancements of your IP by work continuing in the university, and certainly papers in prestigious publications which would never come out of a company. As you rightly say, there has to be an input from both sides, and obviously if somebody has discovered something new, you don't want a publication done with that before you bumped in a patent application, but that's standard anyway these days.
So the bottom line as far as Bournemouth is concerned is that we will not allow that issue to prevent a program happening. We will accommodate as much as we can the company's requirements. Briefly mention a new development. Classic KTP, we're now calling it, is this 18-month, 12-month, 36-month program. We've now introduced a shorter KTP. It's being officially launched next month, I believe. I hope. 1st of July. Though we can talk about it and actually start them off now. It's shorter. It's shorter. It's a 10 to 40 week duration, and it's a tactical rather than strategic. So, if you like, it's more akin to a student placement project than it is to a strategic project. But it is still something which is important to the company and has to be justified as a business case. It is anticipated there'll be a quick turnaround for approval. When it goes on board on 1st of July, there'll be an online application, and so there'll be a much quicker vetting process. And one would hope that happens, because obviously if it's tactical, then you're saying it needs to be done now. this is how the grant works out. Again, it's grant assisted. It's a 60-40 split in the grant. The costings are around about £570 a week in grant. The company contributes about £280 a week towards the cost. And that gives them associate, and that gives them the academic support again, which is the thing that differentiates it quite seriously from a placement where you just get the student and then you sort it out. Here, there's an academic involved to increase that knowledge transfer into the company and provide extra expertise. And the associate can be at NVQ level 4 or above, which means not a graduate. The associate can be somebody with A levels or above. So it can be somebody who's in the middle of the degree and wants experience in industry. And one very unique differential is that the associate can be an existing employee of the company. One of the rules with the classic KTB is that it cannot be an employee of the company, otherwise knowledge transfer is not taking place because the knowledge is already in the company. With the shorter, they can be, but they should be spending a fair amount of their time at the university, which is where the knowledge transfer is happening. So in that case, since they are an employee already and the company is paying their salary, that is normally deemed to be the company's contribution. So in other words, there will be no further payment required by the company. They'll get the assistance, the academic support through the grant, and they'll get the knowledge transfer in. So that's very briefly the shorter KTP. So I'm very conscious that the time is gone. That's my details. I'll have any questions now, or if you want to see me at while we're having a cup of coffee, that's also fine.